We live, we live, we live. The sun might kill my face, but hopefully not. What's up, y'all? Can you guys hear me okay? Perfect. Awesome. Pin this down here. Then we'll get started. Boom. What's up? All right, y'all. So as you guys know, I'm Brittany Greathouse, and I'm here with you guys listening to Be Great. It's called Good to Great. It's an IG live series. What's up, Ship? And so episodes of Good to Great highlight how people are being great in their own way, right? We'll share lessons learned, actionable insights that you can implement now to bring out the best in you, empowering you to be great. So that means I'll be highlighting someone every day at 5 p.m. Central Time until May 3rd, talking about their different careers and walks of life. And then the outcome of all of this is for pretty much you to realize that, or whoever, if you share this live with somebody, is that there's greatness at the core of you and how to harness that and how to pretty much how to not be stopped. Also, like how to overcome any obstacles, whether that's like a confidence obstacle or if it's like a program, a career, or another opportunity. And so I promise you all that by the end of this live, if you keep staying tuned in, you will have actionable insights or an outcome that you can take for that next step in your career and in your life. And if you don't, send me a message and I will personally help you. I promise you that. And so at the end of all these lives, I'll have a website, right, where I'll have all of the programs, the opportunities, the scholarships, the mentors, the people who have helped them in my lives, and the people who are on the live to be on the website to let you reach out to them to get access to all of this information. So what I wanted to go over this for is to let you guys know the purpose of Be Great, my story, and to ask any questions that you guys want as we start to go through with this month. So again, the purpose of Be Great is to highlight how other people are being great and to share opportunities, especially within the African American or just the minority community, because as we know, like it's so hard to share opportunities and get to that next step. And so it shouldn't take, going to 1 or 86 conferences to meet one person to make that next step in your life to change the trajectory. I mean, to be honest, that's been my story. So I want to make it easier for people who are go-getters, for people who want to make that next step, for people who are like, you know what, I know I'm great. I know I should be a millionaire by now. I know I should, this is my passion. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. So let's help each other to get to that next step, because you're already building that momentum with already knowing what you want to do. You want to take action. You want to keep going, right? So the only question you need to ask yourself is, and this is what I always say, is why be good when you can be great? So to give you guys a little bit of background about what I do, I work at a company called Accenture. That's my full-time career. I'm a supply chain strategy consultant. So when you guys see me traveling all the time, I'm on planes every week from Monday through Thursday. I'm going to big companies like Facebook, Google, Campbell's, helping them solve problems. And that's what I'm kind of trying to teach you guys to work with, is how can we solve problems ourselves the same way people in other companies solve problems, because we can all help each other, right? So I'll go to a company and they'll say, hey, Brittany, I need you to help me out and grow my marketing because people aren't buying my product. So we have a team together that flies to, let's say, Miami on Monday, talks to the clients, creates a plan, delivers them that strategy. And then after that, then they just then they execute and then they pay for every next step. So that's what I do as a full-time career. I've been doing that for the past 5 years. It took me a long time to get to that career. I started off as an accountant. I did like 3 internships since going to SIU. I thought I wanted to be an accountant because my family told me, hey, like, you need to make money. The best way to make money is in business, right? And I thought, okay, if I should do business, then maybe accounting should be that. But that wasn't the way for me. I liked the money. I liked going downtown, but I didn't like the job I was doing. I didn't feel like I needed to be behind a desk, and that wasn't my purpose. I wanted to go out. I wanted to solve problems. I wanted to travel. I wanted to meet people. But I learned a lot, and through my career, I feel like in everything you guys do, you learn about, different skills. So I've learned about a 401k, about retirement, about your IRA, about traveling using points, just networking, a ton of different things. And then, as you guys know or don't know, on the side, I have an ATM company. So at some point during my career, I was like, hey, I want to get into a side hustle. And if you guys watched yesterday and listened to Nate, he started to get into real estate. So everyone thinks about, hey, maybe I should get into real estate first. Maybe I should buy a property. I tried to do real estate at first and do some flipping, but it was taking me a while. I didn't feel like I had enough capital to start. I thought I needed like 50K or 20K. And so I got into the ATM business. And all I did to start that was I looked on Instagram. I saw people that were doing it. I reached out to them. I went on LinkedIn. I found a mentor. He told me about the ATM industry, and he was like, yeah, Britt, all you need is like, credit card or maybe even $1,000 or $2,000, buy an ATM, place it somewhere, make money. From there, I knew everything wasn't that easy, but being able to have that and like learn and have someone kind of walk you through, okay, so how do I start this from day one? And how do I bring it to the next level and the next step is kind of where, I needed a mentor to jump in, because as we know, when you start to put a pen to paper, everything is not as easy as it seems. So I've been having ATMs for about a year now. I've been running that business, and then there's also like 100 ways to skin the cat, right? You find out that you can make money during processing or other parts of the business. So I do that. Another thing, as you guys see, I'll post a lot of screenshots of the Amazon drop shipping. So I started to get into that business because that business was very, very passive. And if you guys don't know what drop shipping is, and also feel free to ask any questions or put anything in the comments down here too, so I can help explain things a little bit further. But what I've been doing or what drop shipping is pretty much you're not shipping or fulfilling the product, right? So let's say that for my store, right? So I use Walmart. That's how I purchase all my products. Let's say that this water bottle is selling at Walmart for $10, okay? I take this product, I put it on Amazon, and I just put up, the photo, and it's what's called like an ACIN. It's like the unique ID number, and I sell it for $20. And so once somebody purchases this on Amazon, I take it and I buy it from Walmart and I ship it directly to them. So I never touched the product. I never made the product. All I did was I took it and I posted it from one place to another place. But think about banking that margin. So you made $10 off of that times if, 1,000, 2,000 people buy it. So think the same thing as toilet paper right now. A lot of people are upcharging on toilet paper. So if toilet paper is $5 on Walmart, people put it on Amazon for $10, and then 20,000 people buy it. There you go. There's your business. So that's my Amazon drop shipping business. I've been doing that for about a year now. There's a guy named Nick who will be on this IG Live talking about it too later on in the month. And he can break down every single question for you, how to get started with him, how to do it yourself, things of that nature. So those are the things that I've been doing lately. So mostly just Amazon, ATM, and then BGREAT, which for me, it hits home because all I really care about is sharing opportunities with other people. How can you educate? And for yourself, you want to build wealth, but you want to be able to share that wealth. What's wealth without giving it to your friends, without giving it to your family? And, You don't want to just give somebody money. You want to teach them to do it themselves in their own way. When I was 11 years old, that's when I started my first business. And what happened was my mom, well, I'm an only child, so my mom took me to a bank because my parents or my grandparents used to give me tons of money. I would buy PlayStation games and things of that nature. And they would say, hey, Britt, like, she was like, if you can make $1,000 in 1 year, I will match it. And to me, as an 11-year-old, if I made $2,000, that's like $2 million, right? Mind you, my parents never gave me that much money every year, but they challenged me, right? So for me, I'm like, okay, I can't save $1,000, but I can see if I can make $1,000 some type of way. So what I did from there is I would go to school every day. I would sell gum. If you guys remember back in the day when I was in middle school, people loved chewing on like this Bubblicious gum. There would be like 4 different types of packs. But I ended up going to Family Dollar. I bought the gum and I sold it for double what it was at school. And I pretty much started making money every day. And I'd come with a drawstring bag. I had my books in one bag, Bubblicious in the next. And I kept coming and I was selling it because people would ask me for gum regularly and I give it to them. So now I'm like, nah, I'm gonna sell it and make money. Anyways, about a few months down the line, made like $700. That's something where I started to realize, okay, this is what entrepreneurship is. This is what making money is. Like, this is dope. This is fun. This is cool. Like, I like this. I like making money for myself. And for anyone that has ever had a side hustle or a business, you know that making, let's say, 50 grand in a career and making 5 grand on your own, it's so much more satisfying, and you still want to go after that because you're doing it on your own terms, even if you put in twice the amount of work. So from there, I pivoted because other people at my middle school were selling stuff too, which sucked, but I learned at a young age that's what competition is. And so I pivoted and I sold magnetic earrings and like spinner chains. If you guys remember, I was a big tomboy growing up, so like I loved doing that. So like the whole Mike Jones era. Everybody wanted chains, Nelly. And so from there, I was selling those, and I went to my beauty supply store, and I just wore them to school because I thought they were dope. Then there were kids at school that were like, "Hey, let me get that off of you. Let me buy that." And so at first I was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do it." But a guy offered me $20. He's like, "Hey, I'll give you $20 for that spinner chain." I was like, cool, I gave it to him. After that, he came back the next day. He's like, hey, my 3 cousins want one too. Mind you, I bought this spinner chain at this beauty supply store for $4. I told him, hey, you can get this yourself. You can go here. He's like, no, I don't want to go to that side of town. Mind you, I grew up in Bolingbrook, Illinois. So it's laughable, right? That side of town is not even that bad. But so I would pretty much go to the beauty supply store. I would buy chains in bulk. And then I'd sell them at school. So now this one, instead of making, so for my Bubblicious gum, right, for every pack, it was like $1. I sold it for $2. So I made $1 per pack. Now selling spinner chains at like 13 or 12, I made $16 per one item. So my margin was much higher. So now I got to learn, okay, you can put in less work by selling things and making a fatter margin in the middle. That was something that still at a young age I didn't really understand, but I knew I was making money, so it was great. At the end of that 1 year, case in point, I made my $1,000, so that was a great lesson. Thank you, Mom, because she kind of started off to me learning what entrepreneurship was, and she would sit me down. And for any of you that have kids or younger cousins or people who are trying to like sell stuff, it's good to sit them down and say, hey, let's tally this up. Let me show you what a balance sheet is, what an income statement is. Let me show you that this is your gross pay. Now, these are your expenses. This is your net income, like breaking that down. Because as a kid, you just know you're bringing in money and you're making money, right? I'm going to shift over here because it's sunny. But you can know and you can help out your children or your cousin or even your friends to let them know like what it means to make money and to put it in business terms. Because right when I put those in business terms, in a business sense, it started to make sense when I got to college. So I also ended up going to, and for any of you that sell any items with people, if you sell shirts or sell other items, I went to the beauty supply store and I asked the guy, since I was buying in bulk, to knock down the prices of what I bought because I was buying so much inventory from him. And then he knocked off like $1 off of my chain. So now I was selling mine for like $2.50 or I was selling them for 20, buying them for 250, so my margins were fatter there instead of me selling the chains for more money. And then after that, Nate, you're funny. After that, I went to college. I wasn't able to start selling stuff in high school because I played basketball. There I learned a lot of obedience and things of that nature. I did a lot of programs in high school too. Sorry, let me go back a little bit. I guess some takeaways from that, right? Being in middle school and having a business is knowing how money works, knowing what people want. I got to learn a lot of supply and demand, right? If I brought my gum or my spinner chains only on Monday or Wednesday, people will be waiting for it rather than I brought it every day. I learned about margins. I learned about pricing. I learned about what you needed and how much money you need to invest. And at that time, I'm telling you, I only had like 20 bucks, 10 bucks. So you don't need a lot of money to start accumulating wealth. You need to just have like a skill set or something you know, or someone that you know who knows something, and you both can capitalize off of that. That's like a key takeaway, right? You don't always need a ton of money to start something. That's not the key. But as long as you have it here and you have the will to work, I'm trying to point to my heart, don't know which way it is, then you're able to progress and push forward, and that's the key. So when I got to high school, they told me I had to stop selling stuff or else they would suspend me. So I stopped. I did a lot of business programs. There's a program called NAACP ACSO for anybody you know in high school. Afro Academic, Cultural, Technological, and Scientific Olympics. It's a mouthful, but what it is, it's a high school program around all of the U.S. that encompasses 26 different academic categories, whether that's poetry, entrepreneurship, filmmaking, writing, engineering, architecture, dance. There's so many, but you pretty much participate as in high school as a high school student, and then you're matched with a mentor. You do it like I think one Saturday a month, and they help you create a presentation or whatever your outcome is, your output, and then you compete on a local level, and then if you place in the gold, you go to the national level where you compete with people from all around the country. And then you can win like $1,000, $2,000, laptops, scholarships, tons of things. But that helped me a lot with knowing how to build a business plan, how to interact with a mentor or older people, knowing how to publicly speak. Sorry, I'm losing my words. Back in high school, I didn't know how to talk to anybody. I was so afraid to talk to adults. I was afraid to talk to someone that had like a CEO title or someone who was older than me. I didn't know the best way to speak or say, hello, my name is Brittany Greathouse. I'm trying to learn different aspects of entrepreneurship. Can you please help me out? And I think that is something where at any stage in life, you shouldn't be afraid to ask questions. You shouldn't be afraid to talk to anyone, especially people who can help you. Shoot them a DM, send them a message on LinkedIn, send them a message on Facebook, however, call them. Even if you get a no and somebody's like, hey, well, I can't help you out, that's fine. Do you know someone else who can? Being able to not take no as an answer is key. And I think me and my friend Nate, who was on here yesterday, talks about that too. Do not stop when one person tells you no, because I guarantee you, everyone that's pursuing what they want to do, there's someone who's told them, no, you can't do this, you're crazy, wow, I don't know why you want to do this, maybe you should stick with your career. I mean, even for me, if my mom's tuned in on this live, hopefully she would probably take a testament to it. She doesn't want me to say this, but she wanted me to accept an accounting offer when I was working for Deloitte when I was younger. Didn't want to do it. It was too boring. So I pretty much quit on a limb, and then that's how I found Accenture. And that was great from there. So let me pause. I know I've been talking a ton, but if anyone has any questions, I appreciate y'all joining into this live. This is dope. But want to ask any questions about like credit, 401ks, how to get into different programs, what you guys want to hear about in the future, that would be completely like awesome, because the point of this was just for me to give you guys a little bit of background about what I'm doing and what you guys want to hear will want to hear from the guests coming up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, I think a big thing you guys should take away is what drives you, what makes you hungry. I think that's why I ask everybody who's going to come in about it. because you need to be hungry. And if you're not hungry to succeed, you're going to be complacent or satisfied at a different area. So you might say, okay, I need to make a ton of money. And so you get into, I don't know, Joe Schmo engineering career, and then you start to make 12 grand a month, right? Now you're making what? It's close to $150,000 a year. You might be able to buy yourself a nice place. You have a nice retirement. You can take a couple nice trips and things of that nature, but you're probably going to still be dissatisfied because you want more. You always want more, but if you know what drives you and what you need and what will satisfy you internally, that's the key, I think, to a lot of success, is you know why you're doing things, you know what you're doing it for, and what you want. Okay, I got a question. How do you determine the business ventures you want to do, or do you take a route that will make you the most money? That's a good question. Thank you. So when I started off in college, I did what made me the most money, right? I was like, I want to do a great career, but I want to be able to also fulfill my skills. But I think the business venture that you should go for is the one that you understand. Like, that's the first key, right? Understanding what you know now. So let's say your background is in healthcare right now with quarantine, and you know a supplier that makes those masks, right? And you want to bring those into a market. That's a business venture that you already know, because you already know hospitals, you already know the market, you maybe know the supplier that are providing you these masks, and that's something that you can invest in, right? But let's say that someone tells you, oh man, right now, you should invest in stocks because stocks are down, but you know nothing about stocks. I would not do it. Wouldn't do it because you don't trust it. So if you just grab money and you just shovel it somewhere, then you're not going to know what you're doing, when it's going to come up, when it's time to pull out, unless you have a financial planner or a financial advisor who can help walk you through these steps. I would determine your business venture by what you know. So just assess the skills you have, your background, your industry, your knowledge, or your friend group, because you could also reach out to someone who can tell you about a business venture, and then take that one. I think most ventures or most things that you can into can make you money. I don't think there's plenty careers out there that will not make you the money you want. I think that's why people always say pursue your passion or pursue what you want, because the money will follow, and that's key. Let me see what else we got. Another thing that I wanted to highlight is, so I highlighted NAACP AXO in high school, right? Oh, you're welcome. In college, there is a ton of programs. There's one yesterday we highlighted called Inroads. So it's only for people in business and engineering to get internships early. There's another program called MLT. It's Management Leaders for Tomorrow. That's a program you enter in your sophomore year. It's a countrywide program, but that helps you secure internships into law, into media, into all pretty much all types of careers. And you're also with people who went to Ivy League colleges, Big Ten colleges. So you're able to create a network. For me, it was able to create a network of minority peers around the country. So now whenever I travel to LA, whenever I travel to New York or Miami, I'm able to meet up with people who work for, let's say, Lionsgate or MGM or on Wall Street, and now I have a place to stay in different places that help make you connections, but they also give you internships and opportunities. The third program was SEO, Sponsors for Educational Opportunity. That helps you with law, investment banking, consulting as well, and that's your junior year of college. And pretty much a conglomerate of programs helped me to create a network, different conferences, to be able to figure out what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go. Okay, there's another question. It says, how much money should you save in order to start your own business? It depends. I mean, I think you can save as much money as you want to save, but I think you can, I don't want to give you a number, right? I don't want to say you need like $5 grand or $1 grand or 10 grand. I'll tell you, recently I wanted to start a business in the shirt industry, and if Misha's on here, she can attest to you. That's what we've been trying to start, right? So with that, we actually are starting with $0. We're reaching out to people who are already in the industry. We're reaching out to people who are already suppliers. So I think it just depends on the industry or like the business you want to get into. So if you can put like what your own business idea is, that'll be I can kind of tailor it. But let's say if you want to start your own business in real estate, you might need capital. Let's say you want to start your own woodworking business, you might need to invest in whatever tools you need. But it's just it's unique to what you want to do. But you can find different areas where you can start off with no money, or you can start off with a lot of money. So if you start off with no money, know that you might need to bring in a partner and split equity. And equity is, let's say I own 100% of the business, that means I own everything. But if I come in with $0 and someone has all the money, but I have the knowledge, I might give them 30% of my company or 40% because they have enough for me to start to get moving to keep my business growing. So it depends if you have the money or the knowledge, and I think you need both of those to start a business. You're going to encounter obstacles either way, but when you have those two, normally those are like the equation to starting up any type of business that you want. Hopefully I answered your question. Perfecto. I also wanted to let you guys know, like, in general, like, if you know anyone who's being great now, please tag them on the @BGREAT LLC page, so I can highlight them and pretty much share any opportunities they have. I know we'll be having some giveaways down the line too here. We'll be able to give also I have some friends that want to do like consultations to help you start your own business organically, and to help you grow. Or even now, there's a lot of grants out that are giving people money for businesses that have been affected by quarantine, or even just businesses that are starting up during quarantine, and they're helping you to fund your business to start. So those are some opportunities too that I'll be putting on the website that you can use and you can leverage to help with, to get you started. Yo, I appreciate all these people joining. This is dope. Something else too that I feel like is an undervalued skill is that make sure that your mind is right during the times when you want to start a business. You need to be mentally sane. So I know everyone has that quote, right, that's on there that like if you didn't learn a skill during quarantine and everything else, like you lack discipline, but that's completely not true. Like make sure that you're in a great mental space, your sanity's there, everyone in your family is healthy and happy, because without that, you're not going to thrive in any of your businesses, because your mind is not going to be there. Especially if your health is not there, you're not going to be able to do that too. So make sure that's there first. And then you have people that are surrounded by, who are helping to inspire you, to uplift you. Make sure you're around people who can also like give you good feedback, right? If you're the smartest person in the room, if you're the smartest person around your friends or wherever you're at, you're in the wrong room. So make sure that you stay connected with people who are smarter than you, or who you can learn from, or who are uplifting you in some type of way. All right, let's see. When you make money from your business, do you invest it back in to scale it, or just save it? It depends on the time. So like, for instance, right now in quarantine, I have, let's say I have friends who've been affected and they need help. So I would just pretty much save my money now so I can be liquid, so I can help them in times during quarantine. So I know you should I guess it all depends on your financial situation, right? If you've budgeted and you have enough money where you have your rainy day fund for yourself, and there's nothing going on or being affected right now with like family, friends, anything else that you don't need it, then yeah, I would invest it back into my business. I think being able to take what you earn, and sometimes I open different online savings accounts that I can funnel my money in so I can create more money. I'll funnel it back in there so then I can take it back. So as a business owner, I think people know, right, that you have to create your own salary and pay yourself. I let my full-time career kind of pay me, and anything I make from my ATMs, from Amazon, from the podcasting, from any other side hustles I have, I reinvest that from stocks, from mutual funds. I'll take it and I keep investing it, because you can always take it out if you're satisfied and you're like, okay, you know what? I'm pulling in extra $4,000 a month from my investments. and I'm fine with that, you can stay there. But I think it's better to take your investment and keep investing it. And you can take it, invest it in the same business that you had, or take it and diversify it and put it in a new business. But it depends how much you want to grow it and why you're throwing that money back in there too. So don't just throw money at a business just because you think more money will bring you a scale, because that's necessarily not true. Tell them. The Opportunity Investment Fund. Nate, I don't know too much about that. You're going to probably have to pop in for that one. I'll write it down though so I can keep it. Opportunity Investment Fund. Oh, got you. So I think the best thing to do, and I think what Nate, his thing is head honcho in the chat, is about saving for when it's a market right now. So let's say you have the ability to save money and you're able to, let's say save $100 a month. And so now you have $1,200 at the end of the year. Just because you have that $1,200 doesn't mean you need to invest right now into a business. So make sure that you keep some type of investment fund that you just have when there's a certain idea that you really want to run with and that you vetted out, or in a market like this during quarantine where stocks are down, business is down, and pretty much it's a great time to shove your money into real estate or into stocks or into the market or into a new business. That's the time when you really need to use your money. So I guess it's using your money wisely as an investor. So keeping your money and using it when you need it to work for you, not that you're working for your money. Yeah, what am I selling on Amazon? Sure. So I'm actually selling a ton of things. I think, let me grab my phone. I have let's see how much is in my inventory. Right now I'm selling 5,777 items. The first thing that comes on is a 13-gallon trash can, Murphy oil, pledge stuff, ball pint jar, so pretty much anything. So there's some Google Chrome extensions that you can add into your search bar. I have virtual assistants who actually do this for me, the market research, but there's also Google Chrome extensions which tell you when you go to walmart.com how much they're listed for on Amazon, and so how much you'll make. So when I gave you the water bottle example of it's $10 and it's $20, it'll say, hey, on Amazon they're listing it at $18. So then you're able to say, okay, I can make a profit off of this. Or it's selling on Amazon for $9 and you're like, oh, I can't sell this item, I'm not gonna make anything, right? So I think there's also different ways on Amazon to sell, right? You can sell your own private label items. You can also find a wholesaler who sells specific items where they don't sell on Amazon right now, and you can be a restricted seller, so you can specifically just sell that item, or you can sell other ones. It literally just depends. Right now, I just sell items on Amazon that are provided domestically that I know that can ship within 2 days. That can get to the customer. You can also sell items from China. Some people have Shopify websites or other things they sell from China on Amazon too. I just didn't do it because the shipping takes so long. And right now with quarantine, their factories are down, but it takes 15 days to ship items over. I gotta check the quality. I might have to rebrand it. What if the instructions come in Chinese? It's just a lot of things you have to deal with, so I like to do things domestically. Well, that's good, Justin. All right, Jackie said, which stocks would be the best to invest in right now? Let me start off saying this by I'm not a financial advisor or a financial planner, but it depends on what your investment strategy is. If you're doing a buy and hold, or if you're buying to pull out pretty quickly. For doing individual stock picking, I've been using Robinhood because all my trades are free on there. So I'll invest in, and I know Nate, we were talking about this the other day too, right? Investing in the airline carriers like American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, because we know that their stock price is gonna pop back up at some point, right? You know that Everyone's going to have to fly at some point. Even the cruise lines will probably come back up too. But then you have to see, when you look at stocks, like what's the purpose of the downfall, and why you want to invest in it and when it'll come back up. So there's some stocks like, let's say like Netflix, or not Netflix. Netflix is actually booming, so is Uber. But like, there's different type of stocks where it's just based on the downturn. It's like not worth investing in. Like, let's say like Tesla too. I think Tesla just had something that popped up. You know what? Never mind. I'm not even gonna offer advice on it. I think stock picking is actually very subjective and selective. It just depends. It really just depends on what you want. But I would just do research on the stock that you want to do. Look at like the past 6-month history, the past year history, see where it has been, see if you even know about the company. I used to trade oil stocks a lot, because I met a friend who was in the oil industry, so he told me how to trade with those, and so I had time to do some day trading with those stocks, so I did that. But I think the biggest thing is know the industry that you're investing in, know where it has been and where it is going, but know there's also a market. So just because something's was down and it went back up, everything doesn't act the same way, right? You never know what's going to happen in the market, but you can make an educated guess. The best way, though, I think, to start investing in stocks is to have a financial advisor and a financial planner to understand what your investment strategy is, where you want to go, and they're more knowledgeable, and they're in day out about the exact trades and what they can invest in depending on what your investment strategy is, and depending on how much you are investing. So you can invest like $5K in something and only make like a couple $100, or you can invest like $50K and then make like $10,000. It just depends on how much you're investing and the type of stock. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys on here. Also, during this time too, make sure that you guys are checking your credit score, being knowledgeable about your credit cards, budgeting what you use for your expenses. I use Mint, mint.com, and they literally have a thing where you can export all of your transactions. So you can literally see like, hey, I spend $5,000 a month on food. I spend $2,000 a month on gym memberships or whatever, and you're able to cut down your expenses. So that's the best way to start with budgeting. All right, does anyone else have any more questions, preguntas? Oh, also, I guess one thing I didn't talk about too is traveling, right? So if you guys see on my Instagram, I love traveling, whether that's outside of the country or in the States, and I do travel for my job, but I always advocate traveling for free. And what I mean by that is leveraging your credit cards you have. Some credit cards say, hey, if you spend like $2,000 within the next 2 months, you get like 80,000 points. And it's a travel card, right? And so I'll spend $2,000 on basic groceries or, I don't know, a hotel or something else that I need within the 2 months. And then I get those points, and I use those points to start buying my flights. And there's certain credit cards too that'll give you money back after you buy points, or after you buy the flights. You buy the flights and then they give you a percentage back to buy another flight. So it's making sure that you're using and leveraging the best credit cards for your travel. Also, there's other like sites that I use to get cheaper flights at a certain time. I know Nate mentioned one yesterday. I think it was Skip Lag. But I use some other travel sites to find better deals. I also travel with like friends too. I have friends who have like group travel where they try to also reduce the price for good travel, for good trips. How do you balance travel and having fun with networking and building relationships? The weird thing to me is networking and building relationships while I travel is my fun, right? So if you're traveling and you're able to intertwine business at the same time, first of all, it's a tax write-off. So if you can travel somewhere for your business, do that, because you can write the trip off on your taxes. Also not an accountant, but just want to let you guys know that since it's tax season. And then second of all, it's just great when you can meet like minds and meet friends that you can travel with, have fun, have cultural experiences with, but also talk about, hey, let's go make a new business, right? I think, or Nate and I yesterday were talking about during this quarantine, we wanted to travel abroad, right? We wanted to go somewhere around the world and be able to just like work remote, but also create a new business or brainstorm on how we can invest or do something else, right? So you want to make relationships with people so you can have fun, you can travel, but you could also talk about businesses, or they can help uplift you in some type of way. So I think for me, it's not even like I have these friends who don't pour into my life. I think everybody who I'm surrounded with pours into me in a certain way, whether that is they give me some humor for the day, or they teach me something, or they're presenting with me with a life skill. It's all like pretty much balanced that way. Okay, if we don't have any more questions, I think I'm gonna wrap up this live, and then tomorrow we're gonna have Anna Wilder, who's gonna come on here. She's awesome. She's gonna talk about her branding and design. She's a woman entrepreneur. There's so much that she has to speak on, so I don't wanna say too much what she's doing, but I literally have people coming on here that are actors, influencers, people in retail, people that are in credit, travel, photographers, from all walks of life, that are going to explain how they got to their journey and talk about literally like the nitty gritty and the grind, right? Because I mean, it's great to have like people who have accomplished a lot, but more so people want to hear about how did you get there and what's that journey, so that you can do the same thing or interact with the same people. Because I know that either you're going to use the information or you're going to know someone else who wants to get into that field, and you can help them too. And that's what Be Great is about, right? To keep the ball rolling and to help yourself and to help other people, because once you help one person, then it's a snowball effect, and it keeps building and it keeps building. And then everybody who's a go-getter is going to, we can all win, man. We can all do everything. So I appreciate y'all tuning in to this live. I'm going to cut it off now if anyone doesn't have any questions, and I'll catch y'all mañana. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.